on a source called AI Ready, building a data foundation for the future, and it really cuts through the noise.
It does. The core message is pretty stark, but simple. Your AI. It's only ever going to be as good as your data.
Right. You can't just, like, buy an AI solution off the shelf and expect magic.
Nope. You have to earn it. And that means getting your data house in order first. That's what this deck really digs into.
So it lays out why organizations are struggling with AI adoption.
Exactly. And it gives a kind of roadmap for achieving what it calls true readiness. So our mission here is to pull out those essential insights for you so you understand what AI ready actually involves.
Especially that crucial data foundation piece.
That's the bedrock.
Because, yeah, according to the source, the AI race is definitely on. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's a sprint. There's intense pressure across pretty much every industry.
To adopt AI, show something, anything.
Yeah, visible initiatives, use cases.
Yeah.
It's coming from boards, investors, competitors, you name it.
But, and this is a big but, in the source material, you can't just pretend you're doing AI well. You can't fake AI success.
Not for long, anyway. Not if you want real impact. Running reliable AI, stuff that actually works, it needs that solid base.
So the ones who are ready, the ones who put in the work up front, especially in the data.
Those are the organizations that are going to get the real advantage here. Readiness is the edge.
Okay, readiness is the differentiator. So if that's the case, what's actually holding organizations back? What are the roadblocks the source points to?
It boils it down to three main things. First, the classic problem, data silos and inconsistencies.
Still, after all these years.
Still, data is fragmented, locked away in different systems. Each system might have its own version of the truth.
Which makes getting a single unified view almost impossible, right? Or generating accurate insights across the whole business.
Exactly. You try running AI on data that, contradicts itself.
It sounds like a recipe for disaster. Or just really confusing results.
Precisely. Which ties straight into the second roadblock. Yeah. Unprepared and untrusted data.
Okay. What does that mean exactly?
Well, it's partly about poor data quality, missing context, but crucially, it's also about undocumented lineage.
Lineage.
Okay.
So where the data came from, how it's changed.
Yeah, exactly. It's the data's history. Where was it born? How did it travel? What transformations happened if you don't know that?
Then how could you possibly trust it?
You can't. And if you can't trust the input, you're definitely not going to trust the AI's output. That's skepticism. It's a massive barrier to actually using the AI.
Makes sense. What's the third roadblock?
It's the lack of common data models.
Meaning?
Different parts of the business, different applications. They might define the same basic thing like customer or product in totally different ways.
Ah, okay. No shared standards.
Right. So you lack interoperability. Everyone's basically speaking a slightly different data language. Forget systems working together. Sometimes even people can't get on the same page with the data.
Okay, wow. So data's scattered, you can't trust it, and nobody agrees on what it means. Those are pretty big hurdles.
They really are.
So if you manage to clear those, what does being truly AI ready look like? What does it actually involve?
The source breaks it down into three core components, and they're all interconnected. They have to work together. First up is technology.
The platforms and tools.
Yep. Your data platforms, your orchestration tools, the actual infrastructure. And it needs to be built to support AI pipelines that are real-time, governed, and importantly, explainable.
Explainable AI, that's huge, isn't it? You need to know why the AI reached a conclusion.
Absolutely essential for building trust, for managing risk. You can't just have a black box spitting out answers.
Okay, so technology is one. What's next?
Number two is the data itself. Obvious, maybe, but critical. This means clear definitions for your data, clear ownership who's responsible for it, and active stewardship. That's, managing it carefully throughout its whole life cycle.
So it's consistent, compliant.
And fundamentally trustworthy. You need trust in the data that's actually feeding your AI models.
Got it. Tech platform, clean, trusted data. What's the third piece?
The third piece is business models.
Okay, now this isn't just how the company makes money, right?
No, not in that sense. Here, it means how your core business concepts, your customers, products, financials, are represented in standardized data structures.
Ah, okay. Standard definitions again, but baked into the data structure.
Exactly. And these structures need to go beyond just one application or one department. They should be designed for reuse across the entire organization, finance, ops, HR, everywhere.
So a unified, business-driven view reflected in the data itself.
That's the idea.
Technology, data, business models. The three legs of the stool. And the source really hammers home that data readiness is the core challenge here.
It really does, and it lays out 4 key pillars that hold up this whole idea of AI data readiness. We've kind of touched on some already.
Right, like data quality. The source is blunt here. Clean, consistent, complete data.
No messing around. The warning is stark. Garbage in means failure out.
You just can't skip that foundation.
It's ground zero, absolutely. Pillar number 2 is data governance.
Okay, the rules and controls.
Pretty much. It's the whole framework for control, transparency, and traceability across the entire data lifecycle.
So who gets to see what data? How is it secured?
Can we track its journey? Where did it come from? Who touched it? Where did it end up? This is where you build and enforce that trust and compliance.
Essential guardrails, really.
Couldn't put it better. The third pillar circles back to business models, specifically creating common, reusable, business-driven models.
So actively fighting those silos we talked about.
Yes, defining those core business things, customer, product, whatever, consistently. Creating data assets that everyone agrees on and can reuse across different business domains.
Defining customer wants, basically, in a way everyone buys into and can actually use.
That's the goal. And the fourth pillar. That's technology again, but focused on providing the platform power.
Meaning the tools and infrastructure needed to actually do something with all this good data.
Exactly. The tech to build, deploy, and operationalize your AI vision on top of that solid data foundation you've built.
Okay, this is where, for me, it gets really interesting. The source moves from the what and why to the how. It gives us this, like, blueprint, a kind of plumbing diagram for data in an AI-ready company.
Yeah, it shows the flow, how data moves through the enterprise to actually enable AI-driven action. It's quite neat.
Where does it start?
It starts, naturally, with your source platforms, like your ERP systems, CRM, maybe other line of business applications, third-party data feeds. This is where the raw data is born.
Okay, raw data comes from the sources. Then where?
Then it flows into a central data platform, and the source breaks this platform down into different layers.
Layers, like different stages of processing.
Exactly. Think of it like refining crude oil or something. You start with the bronze layer. This is for the raw ingested data, pretty much as it comes from the source. Unvalidated, maybe messy.
Okay, bronze is raw intake. Then
comes silver. This is where the real work happens.
Yeah.
Data gets cleaned, transformed, validated, standardized. It's conformed to those common models we talked about.
Getting it ready for use.
Right. And finally, you have the gold layer. This is the curated, certified, business-ready data. It's optimized for analytics and AI consumption. Trusted, high-quality stuff.
Bronze, silver, gold. Raw, transformed, curated.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And you mentioned master data before. Where does that fit in?
Ah, yes. Crucially, alongside this layered data platform, there's the master data platform.
And that's different.
It's complementary but vital. This isn't just another layer for transaction data. This is where your single source of truth for core business entities lives. Your official list of customers, products, vendors, locations, defined consistently for the whole organization.
Got it. It's the definitive dictionary for the key nouns of the business.
That's a great way to put it. It provides that single trusted reference point that the silver and gold layers rely on.
Okay, so raw data comes in, bronze, gets cleaned and structured using the master definitions, silver, becomes certified gold. Where does it go from the gold layer in this architecture?
Good question. That refined, curated gold data serves 2 main downstream consumers. First, your analytics layer, think dashboards, reports, business intelligence generating insights for humans.
Okay. And the second?
And second, it feeds directly into the AML layer. This is where your machine learning models are trained, tested, and run.
The engine room for the AI.
Precisely. And the output from that layer, the predictions or classifications, drives the final piece, agentic orchestration.
Agentic orchestration. Sounds fancy. What does it do?
It's the part that translates the AI's insights or decisions into automated actions within the business. It makes things happen.
Okay, let's maybe backtrack slightly and dig into those data platform layers, bronze, silver, gold, because the source gives some detail on the services in each. Bronze isn't just a dumping ground, is it?
No, not at all. It's a controlled capture zone. Key services there include things like ingestion, just getting the data in reliably, metadata, tagging, recording information about the data. Crucially, lineage tracking starts right here, knowing the source.
So you know where it came from, even when it's raw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, schema detection to understand the structure, maybe some source accelerators for common systems, an object store for flexible storage, and event listeners to react to changes. Its job is capture, track origin, make available.
Then silver. This is where the heavy lifting happens, the transformation.
That's right. Silver services are all about cleaning and structuring. You've got transformation itself, applying rules to standardized formats, data quality validation, checking against rules, identifying issues, cross-reference mapping to link-related data, like the same customer in different systems.
Ah, linking IDs.
Yeah, and a canonical model resolver. That's key. It aligns data from different sources to that single common definition, often from your master data.
So if sales calls it client and service calls it account, Silver figures out they mean the same customer defined in the master data.
Exactly that. Silver also handles things like survivorship merge logic, deciding which record is best if there are conflicts, and maintains detailed lineage tracking and audit history logging for compliance.
So a lot of critical work in Silver.
Mm.
Then Gold is the polished, ready-to-use layer.
Yep, the consumption layer. Services here focus on making data accessible and trusted for AI and analytics. You'll find data presented in industry or standard data models, maybe organized into domain marts like a customer mart or product mart.
Optimized for specific uses.
Right. There's often a certified registry so users know which data sets are approved and trusted for critical AI work. Mapping services, capabilities for reverse ETL or data sharing, pushing curated data back out to operational systems.
Oh, interesting. Pushing it back out.
Yeah. And specifically for AI, things like prompt optimization services to help format data perfectly for generative AI models, glossary integration linking data elements to business definitions, and, of course, robust access control.
Wow. Okay, that's a really clear progression. Bronze, silver, gold. And that master data platform.
Yeah.
It's not just holding lists, is it? The source says it's like the engine driving consistency.
Absolutely. It's far more than just a list. The source really highlights its role in enforcing access policies, compliance rules, clarifying ownership. It makes the whole thing hang together, especially for AI trust.
What kind of services does it provide?
Key services include distribution and integration, making sure that master definition of customer is synced correctly across all your systems, operational and analytical. Governance and policy management for the master data itself. Data quality and stewardship processes, finding and fixing issues in the master data involving the right business owners. And processing and transformation capabilities to standardize and enrich those master definitions.
So it's actively managing and distributing that single source of truth.
Indeed.
Okay, so you've got this amazing trusted data flowing through bronze, silver, gold, guided by master data. How do the AI agents then take the insights from the AML layer and actually do stuff, that agentic orchestration piece?
Right. This is where the rubber meets the road, turning insights into actions. It's a layer that combines a few key capabilities. You have the AML core itself.
Where the models live and run.
Yeah, managing the model lifecycle, prompt engineering for generative AI, handling different types of models. Then, critically, there's a strong security, ethics, and trust component baked in.
Managing access, explainability like we talked about.
Bias monitoring, privacy controls, all the responsible AI stuff. And then you have the agents and agentic orchestration services proper.
And these are the doers.
Exactly. These services handle deploying the individual intelligent agents, orchestrating maybe complex workflows that involve multiple agents or systems, applying business rules to guide the automation, and usually a registry to manage all these agents.
So an insight from the AI model triggers a workflow managed here, which uses specific agents to take action.
You got it. And the final piece connecting this all back to the rest of the business is the API gateway and integration layer.
The bridge to the outside world.
Precisely. It connects the AI and agent layer securely to your other business applications via APIs. It manages the traffic flow, validates requests, monitors performance. It's how an AI-driven decision actually becomes an action in your CRM or your ERP or whatever system needs it.
That architecture, seeing it laid out like that, really pulls everything together. It makes sense. And the source uses a fintech example to make it even more concrete, right?
It does, yeah. It shows how these pieces work in a real-world context. For a fintech, obviously centralized trusted data is absolutely non-negotiable.
So their master data would be critical. Things like
a unified member identity, knowing this is the same customer across their checking account, loan, credit card, mobile app. A standard product catalog for all their offerings, maybe regulatory entity management for compliance. That master data provides the trust and clarity.
unifying that customer view across everything.
Exactly. Then their data platform takes in all the raw stuff, transactions, loan applications, website clicks, support chats.
Runs it through bronze, silver.
To produce that curated gold layer. using the master data definition.
Which then fuels their analytics and AI.
Right. For use cases like, say, analyzing the loan pipeline performance, real-time transaction monitoring for fraud, calculating behavioral scoring for credit risk, or personalized marketing offers.
So they can predict things, personalize things.
Based on that trusted unified data. And then agentic orchestration turns those predictions into immediate action.
Like what?
Well, if the transaction monitoring AI flags a payment as highly suspicious,
An agent kicks in.
yeah, an orchestration workflow could instantly trigger a specific fraud alert agent. Maybe that agent automatically puts a temporary hold on the card, sends an alert to the customer's phone, and creates a case for the fraud investigation team. All automated, all triggered by the AI insight on trusted data.
Wow, okay. Or maybe a loan pre-approval agent that assesses eligibility instantly based on the unified customer data.
Totally. Or a KYC refresh agent. Know your customer that automatically initiates a data refresh process based on some regulatory trigger or time interval.
It really shows how that whole architecture enables fast, automated, data-driven actions.
That's the goal. But as you can probably imagine, building all this, it's not trivial. It requires a really structured approach. The source stresses the need for a solid delivery framework.
Right. You can have the most elegant architecture diagram in the world, but if you can't actually build it, roll it out, and get people to use it effectively.
It's just a nice picture. The source highlights the #1 critical success factor here: methodical delivery. Following the process rigorously, managing the transition carefully, having clear end-to-end accountability.
Where does that process start?
It starts with strategic foundations, basically clarifying the why before you jump into the how.
So what's the actual business purpose? What benefits are you realistically expecting? Is it technically feasible with what you have? And crucially, is the business operationally ready for this change?
You got to nail down that strategy and reality check first. Then comes business analysis alignment.
And the source calls this an alignment engine, not just a checklist, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it's about ensuring the solution really fits. Does it deliver outcomes from the end user's perspective? Does it meet all the regulatory requirements? And does it fit with PACIF?
PACIF?
Yeah, it stands for Process, IT, and Organizational Fitness. Basically, does this new way of working fit with existing processes? Does the IT landscape support it? And is the organization culturally ready and able to adapt?
Getting that buy-in, making sure it fits workflows, making sure people can actually handle the change, that seems critical for adoption.
Absolutely. If you skip that, people just won't use it no matter how good the tech is.
Okay, strategy locked, alignment checked. Yeah. Then you move into the actual planning and execution.
Right, tactical and operational planning. This is where you get down to structured actions. Grouping tasks, prioritizing what comes first, evaluating different technical options or tools, assessing integration readiness, how will this connect with everything else, designing the detailed data architecture, and making sure all the documentation and process updates happen.
And out of this planning phase, you get tangible things, right? The source mentions deliverables that drive value.
Yeah, things like gap and options reports, comparing different ways to build something, data retention plans, how long do we keep this data, reusable templates and checklists to standardize the work, detailed software considerations. These are the concrete outputs that guide the build teams.
Makes sense. And weaving through this whole framework, from the initial strategy and due diligence all the way through execution and go live, the source emphasizes governance as the absolute backbone.
It really is. Strong governance, clear communication, active socialization, getting the word out and explaining the changes, and consistent stakeholder engagement.
Why is that so crucial throughout?
Because that's what drives adoption and makes it sustainable. It keeps everyone aligned on the vision, it helps build resilience to the inevitable changes, and it's ultimately what enables the long-term value you're trying to get from your AI investments. It holds the whole thing together.
It really paints a picture of AI readiness not just being an IT project, but a full-on organizational transformation driven by data.
That's exactly it.
And the source wraps up quite practically, suggesting next steps for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, where do I start?
Yeah, it suggests things like scheduling an AI readiness discovery session, getting a proper assessment of where your data foundation stands today.
And starting by identifying those use cases that can actually deliver some impact relatively quickly, get some wins on the board.
Exactly. Build momentum. They even provide contact info if people want to connect directly.
It's a clear call to action, moving from understanding these fairly complex concepts to actually doing something about it. So, if we pull back, what does this all really mean? This whole deep dive, it just powerfully reinforces that message, doesn't it? Being truly AI-ready isn't about rushing to the fanciest algorithms first.
Not at all.
It's fundamentally deeply rooted in building that robust, trustworthy, well-governed data foundation.